You cannot heal while holding on to what broke you. You cannot move forward while looking backward. Healing begins when you let go. And I mean truly let go, not just in words, not just in moments when it feels convenient, but in the depths of your soul where you release every attachment, every hope that someone will change, every wish that things had been different. Because the truth is, what happened, what was done, and you standing in the ruins of what was will not rebuild the life you are meant to live. Letting go is not weakness, it is power. It is standing up and saying, I will no longer carry this weight. It is refusing to let your past have power over your future. It is understanding that some things were never meant to stay. Some people were never meant to go with you into your destiny. And some situations were designed to push you toward your purpose, not keep you imprisoned in your pain. I know it hurts. I know the wounds run deep. I know the betrayal cut you in places you didn't even know you could bleed. But I also know that you have a choice. You can either stay stuck, replaying what happened, waiting for closure that may never come, or you can decide that healing is your responsibility, that peace is your birthright, that joy is still possible for you, because it is, but only if you are willing to do the work of release. Stop trying to fix what is beyond repair. Stop trying to make someone see your worth when they have already proven that they are blind to it. Stop making excuses for why you should stay connected to what is draining you. You deserve better. You deserve to be free, and freedom comes when you stop holding on to what has already let go of you. Letting go is not forgetting. It is not pretending that it didn't hurt. It is not ignoring the lessons. Letting go is choosing yourself. It is saying, I will no longer allow this pain to define me. I will no longer allow this experience to dictate my future. I will take what I have learned and use it to build something new, something stronger, something that honors who I am becoming. There is no healing in rehearsing the past. There is no peace in opening wounds that need time to close. You have to be willing to walk away from the familiar, even when it's uncomfortable. You have to be willing to step into the unknown, even when it's scary. Because what is ahead of you is greater than what is behind you, but you will never see it if you are too busy holding on to what was. Healing is a decision, a daily intentional decision. It is waking up every day and choosing not to go back to what broke you. It is refusing to entertain thoughts that keep you bound. It is replacing self-doubt with self-love, replacing fear with faith, replacing regret with gratitude. It is understanding that every ending is also a beginning, and this is your beginning. You have to release the anger. You have to release the blame. You have to release the need for revenge, because holding on to bitterness is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. The only person it's hurting is you, and you deserve better than that. You deserve peace. You deserve joy. You deserve a life that is not weighed down by the burdens of yesterday. It's time. It's time to reclaim your power. It's time to forgive, not for them, but for you. It's time to stop waiting for closure and create your own. It's time to stop giving people space in your life who have shown you they do not deserve to be there. It's time to stop settling for less than you are worth. You are stronger than you think. You are more resilient than you know. And everything you have been through has prepared you for this moment. The moment where you decide once and for all that you will no longer be held captive by your past, that you will no longer let pain have the final say, that you will no longer let what hurt you define what heals you. You are not what happened to you. You are what you choose to become. And today, you choose healing. Today, you choose freedom. Today, you choose to let go and step fully into the life that is waiting for you, because healing begins when you let go. And today is the day you begin again. Your worth is not something to be debated, questioned, or placed in the hands of someone who does not recognize it. Your value is not conditional. It is not a bargaining chip. It is not a concept to be discussed at a table where others get to decide what you deserve. You are whole, complete, and worthy just as you are. There is no need to justify, explain, or prove who you are to anyone. The moment you accept that truth is the moment you reclaim your power. Too often, we allow the voices of others to dictate how we see ourselves. We shrink to fit into spaces that were never meant to contain us. We tolerate mistreatment because we believe we must earn the love we are given. But love that must be earned is not love at all. It is control. It is manipulation disguised as affection. And you were never meant to live under the weight of someone else's expectations. hands. You were created with purpose, and that purpose is not to be someone's afterthought, someone's second choice, someone's temporary comfort. You have been negotiating with your worth for too long. You have been compromising your peace for people who do not deserve access to you. You have been explaining yourself to those who will never understand because they were never meant to. There comes a time when you must decide that your worth is final, non-negotiable. It does not waver because someone else fails to acknowledge it. Your worth remains regardless of who recognizes it. You must stop giving discounts on your value. You must stop lowering your standards to accommodate those who refuse to rise. The truth is, some people will never meet you at your level because they benefit from you staying beneath your potential. But you were never called to stay in places that diminish you. You were never meant to be in relationships that drain you. You were never designed to be anything less than the full, unapologetic expression of who you are. When you understand your worth, you stop chasing people who refuse to see it. You stop waiting for approval that will never come. You stop apologizing for being who you are. And instead, you start walking with confidence. You start speaking with conviction. You start living in a way that demands respect, not because you ask for it, but because you have embodied it. When you know your worth, you set boundaries and you keep them. You choose peace over chaos. You choose self-respect over validation. You choose to walk away when the situation no longer aligns with who you are becoming. Your worth is not up for negotiation and never was. You are not an option. You are not a backup plan. You are not a convenience. You are a person of value, a person of purpose, a person who deserves to be honored and respected. And the day you decide to stop negotiating your worth is the day your life changes. Because the people who were never meant to be there will leave, and the people who truly see you will remain. The moment you refuse to settle is the moment you make room for what is truly meant for you. It is time to stop asking others to confirm what you already know. It is time to stop waiting for permission to be great. It is time to step into the fullness of who you are unapologetically, because the truth is you do not need their validation. You do not need their approval. You do not need to be chosen by them to be worthy. You were worthy all along, and you always will be. Closure is not something you get from someone else. It is not a conversation, not an apology, not a final meeting that suddenly makes the pain disappear. Closure does not come wrapped in the words of someone who hurt you. It is not a moment of recognition from them that sets you free. Because if your healing is dependent on someone else, what happens when they never give you what you need? What happens when they refuse to acknowledge the damage they cause? What happens when the words you long for never come? You cannot let your freedom be tied to someone who has already shown you they cannot hold it with care. That is why closure must come from within. So many people are walking around waiting for something outside of themselves to heal what is broken within them, waiting for an apology, waiting for understanding, waiting for a moment that justifies their pain. But waiting will keep you in chains. Waiting will have you reliving the same moments over and over, searching for answers that may never come. And even if they did come, would it really change anything? Would hearing "I'm sorry" suddenly erase the nights you cried yourself to sleep? Would understanding why they did what they did make the pain less real? Or would it just keep you tied to something that was never meant to be yours in the first place? Real closure is not found in explanations. Real closure is not given by someone else. Real closure is deciding that you are done waiting, done searching, done replaying the past in your mind as if you can change the outcome. Real closure is choosing yourself over the pain. It is accepting what happened, releasing the need for understanding, and moving forward without permission from anyone but yourself. You have the power to give yourself the peace you have been looking for. You have the authority to declare that the past no longer holds you. You do not need an invitation to heal. You do not need someone else to validate your pain in order for you to let it go. Healing is your right, and you do not have to ask for it. Let me tell you something. If you are waiting for them to give you closure, you are giving them power over your healing. You are putting your freedom in the hands of someone who already mishandled your heart. That is not where your breakthrough lives. Your breakthrough is in the moment you decide to release it all, to lay down the weight of what was and step boldly into what is ahead. Healing is not about making sense of what happened. Healing is not about getting them to admit they were wrong. Healing is about choosing to move forward even when the past is still unclear. Healing is about recognizing that your worth is not up for negotiation. that you are still whole, still valuable, still powerful, even after all that you have been through. Too many of us are holding on to things that are already gone, holding on to people who have already left, holding on to pain as if keeping it close will somehow make it make sense. But pain does not lose its grip on you until you decide to loosen your grip on it. Pain does not leave until you stop inviting it to stay. You do not need a final conversation. You do not need closure from the one who broke you. What you need is to make peace with yourself, to decide that what is ahead of you is more important than what is behind you, to believe that your healing does not require their participation. If you are waiting for someone else to close the door for you, you might be waiting forever. But the good news is you do not have to wait. You can shut that door yourself. You can turn the page, not because they said it was okay, but because you decided that you are worth more than staying stuck in a moment that has already passed. Your future does not live in the past. Your joy does not live in what they did or did not do. Your peace is not waiting on an apology. Your peace is waiting on you to release what no longer serves you. You are not broken. You are not incomplete. You are not a prisoner to what happened to you. You are a survivor. You are whole. You are enough. And it is time to stop waiting and start walking into the life that was always meant for you. Closure is not given. Closure is taken. So take yours today, right now, and never look back. Rejection is not the end of the road. It is divine protection guiding you toward your purpose. Too often we see rejection as a sign of inadequacy, as if something is wrong with us, but that is a lie designed to keep us stuck. You are not being abandoned. You are being redirected. Every closed door is an answered prayer, even if you do not realize it in the moment. Pain makes us cling to things that no longer serve us, people who diminish our worth, situations that stunt our growth. But what if that rejection was actually grace in disguise? What if the thing you are mourning was never meant to be part of your future? Trust that you are being led towards something greater, something worthy of your value, something that aligns with the highest version of yourself. When someone walks away, let them. When an opportunity slips through your fingers, release it. When you are denied what you thought was yours, understand that a divine plan is unfolding. Your destiny is not tied to people who left. Your worth is not dependent on doors that close. Rejection is a divine hand pulling you out of what was never meant for you and placing you in alignment with what is. Keep walking in faith and you will see that every no was leading you to a far greater yes. There is nothing more painful than holding on to something or someone that was never meant to be yours. We have a tendency to attach our identity to relationships, opportunities, and circumstances, but when they are taken away, we feel lost. The truth is, rejection is the clearing away of distractions. It is making room for something greater. It is proof that you are growing and evolving. We must shift our perspective and stop seeing rejection as a wound. Instead, see it as a course correction. Every time you are rejected, understand that it is making space for what is truly meant for you. It is ensuring that you do not settle for less than what you deserve. It is protecting you from what could have harmed you had you stayed. Sometimes what we think is good for us is not what is best for us. You have to let go of the pain of rejection and embrace the possibility of new beginnings. You have to trust that what is meant for you will always find you, and what is not meant for you will never stay. Do not waste your energy chasing after something that is running from you. Instead, turn your focus to the path ahead and walk with confidence, knowing that you are being led toward something better. Rejection is not a punishment. It is a blessing. It is a divine way of protecting you from what would have hindered your growth, your happiness, and your purpose. It is a reminder that you are not in control, but you are being guided. You must surrender to the process and allow yourself to be redirected without resistance. There will be times when you question why something did not work out. There will be moments when you wonder if you were not good enough, strong enough, or worthy enough. But understand this, your worth is not tied to someone else's decision. Your value is not determined by an opportunity that was denied to you. You are enough as you are, without validation from anyone or anything else. Let rejection be your redirection. Let it be the motivation you need to pursue what is truly meant for you. Let it be the fire that pushes you toward your destiny. Do not fear rejection. Embrace it. It is not here to break you, but to build you into the person you were always meant to be. Keep moving forward, and you will see that every rejection was in fact divine protection, paving the way for your greatest breakthrough. You have to love yourself enough to walk away from anything and anyone that no longer honors your growth, your worth, and your destiny. That is not selfishness. That is self-respect. Too many times we hold on to what has already let go of us, clinging to memories of who someone used to be instead of facing the reality of who they are now. But when you love yourself, you refuse to be a hostage to a past that no longer serves your future. You recognize that walking away is not just an option, it is a necessity for your healing, your peace, and your elevation. Loving yourself enough to walk away means recognizing when something is draining you more than it is feeding you. It means understanding that you were never meant to beg for love, attention, or respect. You do not have to convince anyone to see your value because your value is not up for negotiation. The moment you feel like you have to chase someone who keeps running away, you must stop and ask yourself, why am I fighting for someone who is not fighting for me? Why am I making room in my heart for someone who has made it clear they no longer want to be there? Sometimes we stay because we are afraid of loneliness, afraid of starting over, afraid that we will never find love again. But fear is not a foundation for a healthy relationship. Fear will keep you shackled to situations that rob you of your joy, your confidence, and your strength. The truth is, you cannot make room for the love you deserve if you are still holding on to the love that hurts you. You cannot receive what is meant for you while entertaining what is breaking you. Walking away is not a sign of weakness. It is a demonstration of strength. It takes courage to leave behind what is familiar, even when it is painful. But when you choose yourself, when you choose to step into the unknown with faith instead of fear, you are making space for something greater. You are telling the universe, telling God that you trust his plan more than you trust your temporary emotion. And when you take that step, when you finally let go, you will realize that peace was waiting for you on the other side of your fear. You deserve more than half-hearted love. You deserve more than someone who makes you feel like you are hard to love. You are not difficult to love. You are not too much. You are not asking for too much. The right person will not make you feel like you are unworthy of affection, respect, and commitment. The right person will not keep you guessing, keep you anxious, or keep you feeling like you have to prove your worth. Some doors need to be closed so that better doors can open. Some relationships need to end so that you can grow into the person you were meant to be. Holding on to the wrong one will only delay the blessings that are waiting for you. So today, choose yourself. Love yourself enough to walk away from anything that does not honor your worth. Love yourself enough to say, I deserve better and I am not afraid to wait for it. Love yourself enough to step boldly into the future God has prepared for you, because on the other side of your decision is freedom. On the other side of your courage is joy. And on the other side of your faith is everything you have been praying for. Your future demands that you move forward. There is no growth in staying where you were. There is no transformation in clinging to what broke you. You were not created to live in the past, to replay old wounds, or to redefine your worth based on someone who walked away. You are here today because there is more ahead of you than behind you. And the only way to step into that future is to make a decision, not a temporary wish, not a hesitant step, but a bold, unwavering commitment to move forward. It is human nature to desire closure, to want a final conversation, an apology, or even an acknowledgement. But true closure does not come from another person. It comes from within. The moment you decide that your peace is more important than their explanation, you take back your power. When you decide that their absence is not a reflection of your worth, but a divine redirection, you set yourself free. Your future is waiting for you to choose yourself over the memories of what was. Your past may have shaped you, but it does not define you. You are not the mistakes you made. You are not the heartbreak you endured. You are not the abandonment, the rejection, or the disappointment. You are a person of purpose, someone who was destined to rise, to heal, and to walk in the fullness of who you were meant to be. But that future cannot unfold if you are still tethered to a past that no longer serves you. There will be moments of loneliness. There will be moments when you second guess yourself, when you wonder if you made the right decision. But just because something is familiar does not mean it is good for you. Comfort does not equate to wholeness, and returning to what broke you will not make you whole. You deserve more. You deserve a life filled with joy, purpose, and authenticity. And the only way to get there is to move forward. People will question you. Some may even criticize you for choosing yourself or refusing to go back to a situation that drained you. But their opinions are not your responsibility. You are responsible for your healing, your growth, and your future. You do not need validation from those who never valued you in the first place. You do not need approval to step into the life you were meant to live. Let them talk, let them wonder, but you moving, your future is calling. It is bigger, brighter, and more fulfilling than anything you left behind. Trust the process. Trust yourself. Trust that you are being guided towards something greater. And when doubt creeps in, when fear whispers that maybe you should turn back, remind yourself of this truth. Your future demands that you move forward. So walk boldly, walk confidently, and never look back. There comes a time in life when you must choose yourself. A moment where you decide that looking back is no longer an option because your future is too valuable to risk. You have spent enough nights wondering if you should have stayed, enough mornings debating whether you made the right decision. But the truth is, the moment you walked away, you reclaimed your power. And now it's time to move forward. Respecting yourself means refusing to let your past dictate your worth. It means knowing that just because something is familiar doesn't mean it is good for you. Some of us keep looking back, not because we want to go back, but because we don't fully trust what's ahead. But hear me when I say what's ahead is better than anything you left behind. Your healing, your peace, your joy, they all exist in your future, not your past. You cannot respect yourself and still entertain what disrespected you. Respect is not just something you expect from others. It's a standard you set for yourself. And part of that standard means no longer looking back at doors that God, the universe, or life itself has already closed. If it was meant to be, it would have been. If it was supposed to stay, it would have lasted. The fact that it ended means it was never aligned with your destiny. Some of you are carrying the weight of regret, thinking you should have done more, given more, fought harder. But let me tell you something. Love should not require you to lose yourself. Relationships, friendships, connections that demand you to shrink, to settle, to silence your voice are not worth revisiting. You are too valuable to be second guessing your worth based on someone else's inability to see it. If they truly valued you, they wouldn't have let you go. And if they walked away, that was your sign that they were never meant to stay. Stop rereading old messages. Stop replaying old conversations. Stop romanticizing what was. The past has nothing new to say. The answers you're looking for aren't in what was, they're in what will be. But you have to stop looking back long enough to see what's ahead. Your future requires your full attention. Your peace requires your full commitment. Every time you look back, you delay your healing. Every time you wonder what if, you pause your progress. There are people, opportunities, and experiences waiting for you, but they cannot find you while you're still clinging to what's behind you. Let them go. Let it go. Because your next level requires you to step fully into it. You are not who you used to be. The version of you that tolerated less than what you deserve is no longer here. The version of you that accepted empty apologies and broken promises is gone. You have evolved, and with that evolution comes a new standard, a new mindset, a new respect for yourself that says, I refuse to go back to what broke me. Some of you have people in your life who only show up when they see you moving on. They don't want you, they want control. They don't love you, they love access. And every time you answer their call, every time you open that door, you give them permission to play with your heart all over again. But not this time, not this season. This season is about you. It's about healing. It's about growth. It's about stepping into everything you were created to be. You owe it to yourself to move on, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Moving on is not just about leaving a person behind. It's about leaving behind the version of yourself that allowed less than what you deserved. It's about stepping boldly into the person you were always meant to be. And that person doesn't look back. So no more second chances for those who proved they didn't deserve the first one. No more making excuses for people who wouldn't do the same for you. No more giving pieces of yourself to people who never valued you in the first place. You are done looking back, done explaining yourself, done questioning your decision. You are walking forward with your head held high, your heart healed, and your future waiting. Because when you truly respect yourself, you stop looking back. And when you stop looking back, you finally see all the beauty, all the promise, all the joy that has been waiting for you all along. No matter how much history you have, no matter how deep the emotions run, your future is waiting for you to step forward with strength, dignity, and a heart that beats for what lies ahead, not for what is behind you.